What is up, everybody? It's your boy Phil Shocker, the 96 Hedgehog here, and we are here for another draft analysis. I know I'm just shoving these down your gullets at this point, but I'm sorry. I'm enjoying Draft League, and I've kind of overstayed my welcome again. But we're going to see how well it goes, and hopefully we don't have to drop from any leagues. Luckily, I have one that's about halfway done. We're starting up another one that's already just started. We already got a game done for that one. Then we got these next two that are coming up here, and then we have one that we're currently still drafting on. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, but I am. So it is what it is. But we're here for doing a draft analysis of the MBA. If you guys know what the MBA is, it is the moon. It's basically the like, Moon Battlers Association, essentially. But now we've kind of made it Moonlight, Moonblast, Moongeist, essentially for our three divisions, which is the low tier, standard, and Ubers divisions. Standards being Paldea decks / Dashel decks, and stuff like that. Do excuse my yawns. As you can tell, it's 12. It's very late at night / extremely early in the morning for me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get this recording done and go to bed probably. So if you guys are excited for this video, leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new. Join the Phil Sharker crew today because you're feeling with the king of the crew. With that being said, let's get into this video. So we decided to join the Moonblast division this season. If you guys remember Moonblast, we actually had a chance to possibly make playoffs last season with the team, especially since we went 0-2 with the team in the last 3 weeks of the season. It was a winner takes all option for us. Oh, excuse me. But we unfortunately lost and couldn't have it, especially to our team. Moongeist, we did make the playoffs, but we lost round one because, of course, I had to face Orin in round one. No, was it round one? I think it was round one. Yeah, round one. Of course, I had to face Orin, and I was going to lose because, it was what it is. So I'm going to Moonblast because I want to kind of use the new Pokemon that was coming out and stuff like that. That's kind of what my main thought process was. So super excited to try out this team, though. We are doing national decks, and we are allowing all of the cut moves except for Hidden Power. That was the only cut move that is not allowed to be used. Everything else, though, is fair game, which is good. So, real quick, though, we're going to do something we don't normally do here. I'm actually going to talk about the transactions we made before we get into the draft. Because this is something I really needed to bring up because it was something that kind of actually affected the draft. So, real quick, I'm going to show you guys right now that our original free mons right here were Superior, Omastar, and Armaldo. These were the only changes I theoretically made. Now, I dropped Armaldo because literally I only picked it up for a Rapid Spinner, but then I kind of forgot I was going to have another Rock type, what I was going for. And so, didn't really care for that, so I dropped Armaldo. Omastar, I really needed a water type. All the best water types are available, or water types I didn't want to use because of points, and also have I already been using them and stuff like that. I did what? So I couldn't use almost. I just dropped Omastar to see if there was anything better, and there was at least one option there. And then Superior was going to be my Terra Captain. It was in 9 points. I thought it was a steal, but it doesn't get Terra Blast. Now, if you guys don't know, in a National Dex format, basically the Pokemon that are programmed into the game will be able to carry Terra Blast. So, since Superior is not programmed into the Scarlet Violet metagame, it's not going to have it. So, I got rid of it because of that said reason. Which is very sad because this was going to be my Captain use Terra Blast on. So, let's talk about the replacements we made. So, I was looking for the draft, and I was having to replace my my grass type. And I was looking and I was looking, and I actually decided to go with Hisuian Lilligan Hikari. Now, I don't know if I feel like Hikari's from a manga comic I've been watching on YouTube, which manga comments on YouTube honestly are so good. They are really good. If you haven't watched one, definitely check one out. It's actually pretty fun. But I think Hikari was the name of one of the characters. I don't remember. But Hikari just came to my mind here. But Hustle is power on a Pokemon that has 105 in its physical attack. But what's more important about this Pokemon is that it does get the move Victory Dance, which raises my user's attack, defense, and speed. Now, if you guys don't know, this is quite opposite of how Quiver Dance works. Quiver Dance works so where I get a special attack buff, special defense buff, and a speed raise. And with this Pokemon being grass and fighting type, oh baby, this thing got some tools. It got access to Axe Kick, which is super strong on this Pokemon. It got access to close combat, acrobatics, obviously Leaf Blade. It doesn't even learn Leaf Blade. Why? It's literally okay. It learns, Ice Spinner? Yo, what? I didn't even realize you learned Ice Spinner. That's crazy. Petal Blizzard is just super strong as well, Sleep Powder strats and stuff like that. You really not learn Leaf Blade? Oh, you do have Leaf Blade. Why is it not up here then? Oh, stupid computers. But anyways, I'm super excited to try Hisuian Lilligant. It's gonna be a Pokemon I never thought I could put on this team, but I'm super excited for it nonetheless. So that replaced Superior. I'm gonna get into these three in here in a second, but let's talk about the one that replaced Armaldo. That is Rapska, which we're gonna name What Am I? Because honestly, God, I have no idea what this is supposed to be. But this is the Black Psychic type Pokemon, which is actually, if you reverse his name around, is actually Scarab backwards, essentially. But I kind of just picked this up as a ground switch in of sorts, potentially. It's a little bit especially defensive, which is really cool. But yeah, a Pokemon. Honestly, Gotti, I don't think we're really gonna bring this thing all that too much. But well, who knows? There could be a matchup or two where Bug and Psychic typing goes really in and kind of just worked. I will say this: Revival Blessing is banned. I cannot use that online Pokemon, otherwise I would be disqualified. But I mean, it's a Pokemon. I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna have an open mind with it, especially since our team is gonna be kind of top heavy. I'm gonna have to make like one or two switch out of the team, so it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. Now let's talk about these guys right here. Let's talk about these three. So I asked Haunch this before I even made the decision of my pick right here. Now with Paldean and Tauros, there was no vote on or talked about within our mod group, which shoutouts to Mod Squad. But we never actually stated a ruling on the Patalian Tauruses until I talked to Hunch. And I asked him, if someone gets Patalian Tauros, are they given all three options? And he said to me, yes. So I scooped up Paldean Taurus for two reasons. One, just to abuse that ruling of having it in all three forms, so now I have an extra fire type, and having it also just an overall another fire fighting type, which is pretty good for the team because our team was kind of handling a little dark weakness essentially. Or dark spam, and also again just steel types were a little bit of a problem. Bulky rock types could have been issues and stuff like that. Just and also ice types were just a massive problem for us as well. But one of the main reasons I drafted the Paldean Tauros was for Paldean Water Tauros. Now, all their stats, as you can clearly see right here, are exactly the same. Now, I strictly drafted this thing for its water typing, essentially, because I didn't have a water type, and this was the best bulky water I can get, but it's still a good offensive bulky water as well. It is super strong. Now, Intimidate is probably going to be the ability I run the most. This one eats a berry. We'll eat that berry again at the end of the next round. But yeah, because I'm running Intimidate most of the time, because again, it's going to lower attackers, and it's going to help make this thing really to take hits. It can run Assault Vest, this thing could run Leftovers. It's a Pokemon that I can see us bring as both defensive and offensive, and then bring like an adamant defensive offensive set that really goes into work. So I'm super excited. Oh, excuse me, super excited for Paldean Tauros. This one will basically replace the Omastar, but again, the only risk I have with this is being a secondary fighting type on a team. Then I kind of always try to go back and not trying to duplicate too many typings across the board unless it makes sense for it. But I had no choice, I feel like, in this matter for what I wanted for a water type. So we're going to go with this. Super excited. We're naming it Stooges, by the way, because these are literally the three Stooges. I felt like that would just fit the theme of this team. So, yeah. But I'm super excited for this team so far, and we'll go with that. But with that out of the say, with our transactions, let's talk about our pick. So I had pick number 5 out of 16 coaches, which guaranteed me one broken Pokemon. And there was like 5 to 6 of the most broken Pokemon I saw. And 3 of them actually made it to us, but by the end of it, only 2 did. The last 2 that were broken that were not picked up were Iron Bundle and Roaring Moon. Iron Valiant was sniped and Palafin was sniped. Those were like my main 2 go-tos. I mean, I had Chimpao in a different league, so I didn't care if I got sniped with Chimpao. I didn't get scared if I got sent to GU. We're using that currently. So those were my main two goes. And sadly, one went, and then like a pick or two later, really the pick before me, Palafin got taken. So left me with Iron Bundle and Roy Moon. And since I am using Iron Bundle in the VBL, there was no given answer right here. I scooped up Rory Moon. Now, Rory Moon is a scary Pokemon just for the fact that it is a severely strong powerhouse. Base 139 attack. There is no good switching once this thing starts steamrolling. Base 118 speed tier is really good because it's built base 100 and base 115, which is relatively strong. This is just a Pokemon that hits insanely hard, and he's going to be a massive threat for a lot of teams out there. I am super excited to try out Roaring Moon, and I'm really hoping I do Roaring Moon justice this season. I really hope I can do well with it and be able to play well with it as well. So really excited for that. It gets our dragon and our dark type out right of the gate, which is really good too. So now coming into round two, I'm actually generally surprised this made it to me because it doesn't make any sense how this would make it to me in round two. But somehow I got Goldango, our boy Goldie here. And Goldango is a Pokemon that I have seen such a strong presence and appreciation towards in the Draft League format. Some people saying this is one of the best, if not the best steel type in the format. This is one of the best Pokemon in the format. And I have definitely seen a lot of people use this thing successfully. For me, I still don't know. I don't know if it's what I want. I don't know if it's going to be good. I haven't tried it yet. So I'm super excited to try out Goldango and hopefully have some fun with it. Definitely don't think there's going to be too much on the item placement for what he's going to be doing for most of the time. But he does have access to Nasty Plot. So if we can find a matchup that fits Goldango's personality in terms of that, maybe we can run Nasty Plot at some point and be able to run house on teams. So, but going to my third pick, I gotta give a shout out. So, third pick, I was 100% gonna take the Iron Moth. 100%. It was gonna be a relatively early pick. It was probably only a round 4 or 5 pick, but I was gonna pick it up because this was my main Pokemon. This was the main Pokemon I wanted to use for the drive, especially after the speed tours we did with it. I wanted this. I wanted this thing so much, so much. I was almost willing to take it round two, but I wasn't gonna pass up a Goldango. And Goose actually snipes it literally the pick before me, and I let him know, I'm mad, I'm angry, but he's actually willing to trade that Pokemon out. And I told him at the end of the day that don't let me complain about me not getting it. It's a straight your decision. If you seriously want it, go ahead and take it. I will do something else about it. But he decided he was going to go ahead and commit to his switch, and he picked Iron Jugulis, and would allow me to get my girl Mothra. So Goose is the legend. Definitely get some Goose love in the comment section below for him. I'm tired. You can tell I'm not knowing how to speak English anymore. Yeah, not gonna talk too much about Mothra. We already done it before. It gets the Toxic Spikes. It's a good booster energy Pokemon. It just cleans up games if we use it correctly. And it's super strong. By the way, I didn't state this already, but we have Terra Captains, which are 9 points and below. If I already stated and I didn't go into depth, and that's also. But basically, any Pokemon that is 9 and below in the point system, that is the only Pokemon that can Terra, and we only get one Terra. For me, I went with Terra on Tauros because I feel like it was more versatile in terms of bulk, but also provides a lot of versatility in terms of offense. So went with that. I could have given it to Mothra. I would have given it to Mothra. Don't get me wrong. I also would have been willing to give it to Rory Moon. So we're gonna skip over Hikari for real quick. Next, coming into round 5, and I'm not gonna lie to you all. I don't know how this made it to me at round 5, but we got Hisuian Ursaring. But who am I kidding? It's not a Hisuian Pokemon, even though it technically is. It's Ursaluna. Now, I used this on the Speed Tour and actually had a lot of fun with this Pokemon. Normal ground is super strong. There is little to no switch-ins on this Pokemon. The only thing that really switches in on this Pokemon is Levitate users, really, for the most part. But overall, Ursaluna is super strong. Choice band this thing, it's got no switch in. Flame Orb guts this thing, there's no switch in. Everything gets died or 2 KO'd. I so really love Ursaluna. I'm very excited to try Ursaluna for the first time. And I'm hoping to having some fun with it this season. And hopefully, it's going to put in the work for the team. Now, I need hazard removal, and I at least need one form of it. And since we are allowing Nap Dex, which brings back cut moves that were from the Paldea Dex into these Mons, this Mon now gets Defog back, and that Mon being, I'm a big fan. I'm sorry, I had to make a pun off his name. I'm sorry, okay? Actually, I'm not really sorry, but you know what I mean. We're rated Rotom Fan. Now, I've only used Rotom Fan one time, I think, in Draft League, and that was back at APA when Gen 8 first was really starting out, and I was absolutely cream. Like, I only won like one or two games and just got destroyed in that format. But really give Rotom another shot. I need an electric type. I really needed a ground resist, and I also really needed something to remove hazards in that sense. So I'm super excited to give Rotom another go around. Hopefully, I can have some fun. Hopefully, it's the ultimate ground immunity that we can still make fun of for that. But overall, Rotom provides good defog support, will support, and yeah, it's gonna be super exciting to try it out again this season. Now we skip all the Stooges, and with our last pick, and I kid you not, I do not know how this sit there until it was my last pick. I do not know how in the world this stays on the board for 9 to 10 rounds and not get picked up. And since everyone else had picked a Mega, and everyone else was basically having a fairy type, I purposely waited on this, especially since someone pointed it out, and I budgeted my points to make sure this could be my last pick. And I got Mega Diancie pick 9, probably the biggest steal of the draft of all time. Mega Diancie gives me that fairy type that I desperately needed for my team. It gives me a fast Mon, it gives me a hard hitter, it gives me a decent defensive Mon as well. And another main reason I have two fighting types, along with having a Paldean Water Tauros, Steel types. Steel types are a bit of a problem for our team, and these two combined are really good options. Having two fighting types plus, one of them being a water type is really beneficial. Having, fire type, which we have, and a ground type, pressuring steels. I really feel like this team's really, really nice. I don't think it's a great team at all, in my honest opinion. I definitely think this is one of my weaker drafts in terms of just putting stuff together. But I'm willing to see how goes. So, and I'm just willing to do my best to have some fun with this season. But I am going to try to win, and hopefully we can be able to come out on top and become a Moonblast champion this season. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the team itself. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys